So I'm an online publisher for almost a decade. I started Finxter 2014 on the site. I did many things on the site, and Finxter was one of my side projects. And started publishing content online more than 10 years ago when I was still a computer science PhD student. And in my PhD program, and I published about things like graph theory and like computer science topics. Also, I started with Python and published content in Python and so on. And so I have a lot of experience publishing, especially blog traffic. And most of my traffic came from organic sources such as Google. And basically, most traffic to Finxter came from Google historically, but we also have Reddit traffic, Quora traffic, and so on. And the Google traffic part significantly dropped in recent 1 or 2 years due to generative AI. And interestingly, now we see Reddit that also has a large portion of its traffic coming from Google. We now see Reddit going to the public market. Sorry about that. So basically, they offered. They had their initial stock offering IPO. Launched their Reddit stock recently, which was like quite a successful launch. I think the market cap is somewhere in the 10 billion range or so. And I thought, okay, let's maybe have a look at the Reddit stock. So what is the deal about Reddit? And you can see Reddit has seen recent rising traffic at the cost of like web publishers or blog publishers, because people just love to go to traffic. They want human content, and more blog owners actually publish AI content. And on Reddit, it is not possible to publish AI content. You need to be a human being, right? So I think 1/3 of the Reddit traffic or so is logged in traffic. So you have real humans logging into Reddit and answering questions, bashing each other, also sharing GIFs and stuff. But there's comparatively little AI traffic. So it is valuable for both advertisers who want to reach the human attention, but also for the users, right? Because they want to have the human experience, the human touch. They could ask AI for themselves. They don't need a blog owner to give them some edited AI content back or so, because they could ask ChatGPT for themselves. There's no need for this AI consumption, AI content consumption anymore on blogs. So many blogs actually have seen a significant drop in traffic. Whether they use AI or not, it's like kind of secondary. People are just searching. You can see people searching for Reddit. So if you search, for instance, the query how to make money online on Google, you can see the auto suggestions, like Reddit, for instance, is the top auto suggestion by Google, which means that most people who start their sentence with how to make money online actually add the word Reddit afterwards, right? Because they specifically looking for content published on Reddit. And why would they do this? Not because the content is so high quality, right? Because on Reddit you often get low quality content. The reason they do this is because it's authentic human content. So they know if it is on Reddit, it is human content. And you can see that's why Google basically gave them like 10x their organic traffic or so recently, which coincidentally also aligns with the recent IPO of Reddit. So there was this surge in traffic. They went IPO, so they sold their business to the general public, you can say, or actually part of that as a stock. And now the general public gladly buys the stock because of the recent surge in organic traffic. And now I will first look at some statistics, like what is the type of users that come to Reddit and where does it come from and so on. And many of those statistics are encouraging, but my TLDR for this talk is that Reddit is is not a very attractive investment for my personal portfolio. And it might be an attractive investment for you. This is not investment advice, but it is not an attractive investment for me. And I focus really on the stock now. I focus on discussing the stock and the qualitative data or information we have of Reddit that is relevant for such a decision whether we want to invest in the stock or not. Okay, so you see, so we have seen this surge in traffic, like 10x in organic traffic, and what kind of people do they reach? Basically, rich people. Yeah. So you can see the traffic by countries: 48% United States, 7.5% United Kingdom, then 7% Canada, 4% Australia, 3% Germany. So together, it's like maybe 60% or so of the traffic is rich countries with money. European, US-based Western countries. So there's a lot of like the GDP of those countries is still, these are the leading GDP countries basically in the world, excluding China and other like Southeast Asia countries, right? And which means that the revenue per 1,000 visitors should be quite high, right? Because advertisers usually spend more on US traffic than they spend on, say, Africa traffic or South America traffic and so on. Why? Because US citizens have more money to purchase products. So it makes more sense to spend more money, right, as an advertiser to reach those people. And if you look at now this wouldn't make a lot of sense if you would only reach, say, 10-year-old, right? So for instance, if you had a Snapchat-like application or Musical.ly or something like this, right, where you just reach, or maybe a gaming application, where you reach a Western demographics, but you reach only young people who also don't have money, then advertisement wouldn't be very valuable. But they reach 25, so more than 60% of their traffic is 25 plus. Even they reach a lot of like older people who tend to have more disposable income. In fact, 65% of Redditors have significant disposable income. Here you see the general statistic. In the US, if you go to 26 and above, you see how the adjusted gross income actually increases through the age groups, and only as they get 65 or older, their income starts dropping again. But you see, like, most of the Reddit traffic is actually from Western countries, and within the Western countries in the higher income age groups. So which is really encouraging, right? For an investor, you want to know that there's a lot of things to harvest, basically. Yeah. So if you focus on advertisement or selling products, selling digital products or stuff, you want to have those kind of people on the platform. And in terms of the traffic sources, we still see like 1/3 of the traffic is direct traffic, and this is like the golden goose. This is the perfect kind of traffic you want. You want people just come to your site without intermediary. You want to come to your site without Google brokering the traffic, right? But now with the recent surge in Google traffic, we basically have seen that 2/3 of the traffic comes from organic search, mostly Google search. So the two traffic sources are both organic, which is really encouraging. People love to come. People want to come there, right? People specifically search for Reddit answers through Google, and they arrive at the Reddit page in huge amounts. So the amount of traffic on so Reddit has really changed in the last year or so, and it has seen huge surges in terms of traffic. And the traditional business model is ads. Much like anything on YouTube you watch or blog traffic and stuff, they are mostly monetized through ads. Ads power the internet. If you like the largest companies on the planet, some of them, Google, Meta, also Amazon recently, make billions and billions and billions based on ads and advertisements. So we wouldn't be at the point we are now in the internet and the technology if we wouldn't have had advertisement revenue by those businesses. And you see advertisement revenue is still the bulk of the income. In the 3 most recent years, they made like 222 million in advertisement revenue and only 20 million in other revenues. And now you might ask the question, is it AI proof? So generally, I would say advertisement revenue is AI proof if you find ways to intelligently offer personalized ads to your users, right? And if you can use AI to do this, to offer relevant ads. And if you offer relevant ads, it almost isn't like an ad. It is just like a recommended content, recommended service, because we all use services. And if you can just channel the services to the people who need them, then actually the world would be better in a way, right? Because people would just spend on the service. Of course, if you offer them ads that are actually harmful to people, like some games or so, maybe gambling away their money or so, gambling ads, then of course it could actually be harmful to people. And I think in terms of generally the revenue stream through advertisement is AI proof, yeah? So if you ask the question, is Reddit AI proof? What happens with generative AI? Generally, advertisement revenue is AI proof. But now, even without the advertisement revenue, we have seen the emergence of a new business model specifically for Reddit, because Reddit is like one of the major players in the internet, and they have lots and lots of human-based content, like almost provably human content, because of the logged-in users and stuff. Companies, AI companies such as Google and OpenAI actually offer tens of millions of dollars on an annual basis, just for training their own AI models. So for instance, Google has struck a $60 million deal with Reddit. So they pay them, Google pays Reddit 60 million. This is independent of the traffic search we have seen before. Google, in addition to giving them free traffic, basically, they also give them 60 million bucks every single year just to access the training data and to use their Reddit data to train their AIs, to make their AIs more useful, to understand the human being better, and offer more relevant AIs, and use it maybe for reinforcement learning algorithms. And similarly, OpenAI has now struck the same kind of deal. So Reddit is making $120 million in revenue annually just from those two companies. And you see they make advertisement revenue of 222 million in 3 months. So it is like a significant portion, but it still hasn't reached quite the advertisement revenue. But generally, the business model is AI proof for sure, because Reddit is one of those provably human based content treasure troves, so which remains a scarce asset. And the more AI based content we generate as humanity, the more valuable will be this scarce asset of human based content. And so Reddit will probably make many such deals with other companies that also want to access their data, because if you don't pay Reddit and if you don't access the Reddit data, then your AI model is inferior, right? And if it's all about the race to AGI, then this is a small price to pay to access the data set of Reddit. And it also is not enough to access it once. You want to access it all the time. You want to have this recurring relationship with Reddit, because users post more and more content there. So the human touch, the human-based data, or the human-generated data has actually become more relevant in the age of AI. And you see now a few words on the treasure. This is like, they have 100 million active users, right? More like a couple of 100 million weekly active users. They don't optimize so much on monthly active users. They want to really, they want their users to come into the habit of visiting Reddit daily. So they want to have the recurring visitors. They want to have the brand kind of traffic, right? Which you have seen, the direct traffic of people coming on a daily basis to spend their time and attention there. But here the two important pieces I found is that they have more than 100,000 active communities on different topics, right? Like on Wall Street bets, on AI, on ChatGPT, and all kind of communities of people, of human beings who actively bash each other, write each other, learn from each other, teach each other, make fun with each other, like just having a human-to-human relationship. And of course, this is very valuable for AIs. And in fact, they have 16 billion posts and comments, so you can train your whole AI model just on this data alone to understand the context, understand humanity much better. And of course, even if you have other kind of data sets, you still want to have the Reddit data set because of the genuine, authentic human data. Okay, so let's go over some more technical or more finance technical kind of updates. In the recent quarter, they told that the revenue was like 243 million, increasing 48% year over year. So they are on a growth curve, almost 50%, which looks very impressive. I think we should be careful a bit because it could be like, I don't see a trend there yet. I see maybe a 1 or 2 of kind of revenue burst, and then it will kind of flatten out, in my opinion. Gross margin was 88%, which also sounds great, but it actually isn't, because they have net loss of 575 million. And this is so they basically made four times 240, like almost $1 billion in revenue or so on a run rate of revenue, but they are still losing 500 million a quarter, right? Which is like more than they make. And one of the reasons is stock-based compensation, taxes, and these IPO kind of charges. They will go away. These are one-time charges, but still it's like not so sure. They still make a loss, and they would have to monetize significantly more. They would have to have a higher monetization degree in order to justify an investment. But of course, this depends on the valuation, which we will look at in a moment. Operating cash flow was 32 million, has grown significantly. Also, free cash flow has grown significantly. 29 million of free cash flows. If you multiply this with 4, you get maybe 120 million or so on an annual basis free cash flow. So what would be a business worth to you that generates maybe 120 million in free cash flows? If it doesn't grow, then maybe you would pay 10 times that or 20 times that if you would be a venture investor, right? Maybe say, let's go with 10 times 120 million. Then you would, if you could purchase Reddit for 1.2 billion and it would generate you 120 million every single year, you would make a 10% return on investment as long as it holds. And if it grows, you would be happy, right? So you would probably, it would be a no-brainer to invest at Reddit at this, like just based on this quarterly information, at a valuation of 1.2 billion, right? This we can already say. Some more updates. The daily active users have seen a 37% year-over-year growth. Again, in my opinion, it is just it is not sustainable. I don't think the daily active users will grow another 37% next year. It was like this one-time burst of Google now focusing more and more traffic on Reddit because people just want it. But this is not like a trend that will continue to do so. They just adjusted their algorithm once, and they could also adjust it into the other direction, right? It's not due to Reddit that has actually maybe published 37% more content or so, right? It is mostly because of the Google traffic. Logged in users have also grown, which is kind of users you want. You want the user-generated content of like provably human content. They have product announcement. They try to use machine learning and AI and stuff. The average revenue per unique user was 2.94, which has grown by 8% year over year. So now the growth numbers don't look so interesting anymore. And I think, I would say it is a good business. The only question is how much we pay for this business. And let's have maybe a look at the attention hours. In recent videos, I have shown the attention hours controlled by Google, the Alphabet company, and I have shown that Alphabet looks very undervalued. If valued, if we look at the attention hours they actually control, and they could monetize if they just decided to do so, and they eventually will monetize, right? And this is how you should look at any kind of business that mostly makes money from proportional to the number of users it reaches, proportional to its reach, like a media company or a social network or some kind of attention business, right? Like Netflix or so. You should focus mostly on how much attention they control and how good can they monetize the attention. And oftentimes, for instance, initially in Facebook, in the Facebook story, they have not monetized anything the first couple of years because they just focused on organic growth. They had loss, but savvy investors could already see that their attention hours they control was growing significantly, and they will eventually be able to monetize the attention if they just decide to do so. A business, for many reasons, could decide for a certain time not to monetize the attention they control. Maybe it leads to faster growth rates, but eventually they will just turn on the knob. And many people in the comments, actually, Finxter in my previous Google video, said that it is like the analysis is irrelevant because Google doesn't currently monetize it. So why I point out that they could monetize the attention hours if they don't do it, it is irrelevant, right? But this is not like how it works. You need to go where the puck will be, right? You need to look into the future, and in the future, the businesses will figure out. The businesses often already know that they sit on the treasure trove, and they just need to. They sometimes decide not to access it for different reasons. But we as investors, we need to find our own valuation. We need to look behind the curtain to see the underlying economics that build every business, and that is the foundation of any business. And the foundation of Reddit, of course, is attention hours. And if they could, there are many ways of monetizing the attention hours. They can sell digital items, right? Like some Chinese businesses, Tencent and so on, make money mostly on selling digital items. Reddit could do the same, but they don't. They decide not to annoy their users too much, maybe for growth reasons and stuff. But of course, they sell ad space, and we have also seen that the more users we control, the more revenue we make per, not only on an absolute basis, but per user. And this is due to network effects and other reasons. Also, like for advertisers, it is easier if you have one platform offering a comprehensive advertisement solution. Okay, if we do so let's go into the attention hours valuation. Reddit attention hours, they have 2.4 billion visits, each visit spending 7 minutes on the site, 7 minutes and 23 seconds. If you multiply with 12 months, we get to roughly 3.5 billion attention hours. Now we can do some napkin valuation. We have seen like an 8 cent per hour monetization degree is really low, would be really considered really low. It's much lower than, for instance, YouTube monetization and stuff. But for a full hour attention, you could present many, many ads. If you would dial up the monetization degree, you could make much more than 8 cents per hour. So low ball valuation would be making 8 cents per hour. If we multiply with the number of hours we make, we could easily make like 20.28, so 280 million in profit on annualized basis. So this is just multiplying this 8 cents with the number of hours we control, and we would get $280 million in profit. And if we have just a 15 PE, because Reddit is still kind of growing but not growing, we wouldn't assume it actually grows too much, then we would multiply this profit number with 15, and we would get to a fair value of 4.2 billion. So if somebody decided to sell this business for you with costing 4.2 billion, then you should find a way to make it work, right? And of course, if you buy a share, you always buy a fraction of this. So somebody maybe sells you a share for, say, $42, and it makes it makes you then, if this is 42, it makes you maybe 28 cents per year in profit, and the business is still growing, right? So you like, if somebody would pay you this, would decide to offer you this business for 4.2 billion, maybe you should take it. And a mid kind of valuation would be like assuming 10 cents per hour as an monetization degree, in this case, you would make 350 million in profit and a fair value would be 7 billion. In case of the high valuation, somebody could offer it for you for 17.5 billion. In this case, you would assume a 25 PE and 0.7 billion annualized total profit based on a 20 cent per hour 20 cents per hour monetization decree. But I would say this is high, right? Because we are now talking about the net income. And of course, with the rise of AI, we will see a higher kind of monetization or per attention hour, because human attention is still a scarce asset. And for AI, it's even more valuable than for pre-AI. So post-AI, the human attention hour is more valuable than pre-AI, because now we can actually use the attention hours to learn something, to train our models that have now a huge value proposition, like externally. Just to make our models more intelligent, we would maybe pay 20 cents per attention hour. But of course, we still needed to find the companies paying this, like Google and OpenAI. So in this case, like our valuation would be roughly between 4 and 17 billion, right? Depending on how much you assume they could dial up monetization. And now let's look at the current state. So this, you should always maybe make your own mind, and then look at the current state, the actual state, and compare it, right? To find out whether you believe, based on your assumption, that a company is overvalued or undervalued or fairly valued. So currently we make 880 million in revenue on an annualized basis. You can check those out. Probably it will grow, right? Because the recent quarter, they have seen 240 million revenue already. If you multiply it by 4, you would get to north of $1 billion. Especially if they keep growing, north of $1 billion in annualized revenue. Yeah, but currently they make like 0.88 billion in revenue, and if you break it down per attention hour, they control, because we have seen they control like 3.5 billion attention hours on an annual basis, then you would get to 20 cents per hour. So they already monetize at 20 cents per hour. But this is now revenue, right? We're talking revenue. This was already, if they maybe would double their monetization decree per hour, so double the number of ads, or maybe make more money through sale or to AI businesses, and we would make, say, $0.4 per hour, so 40 cents per attention hour, which is really high compared to Google and Alphabet, right? Extremely high. Alphabet is way under monetized in speaking comparatively, but yeah, if you would dial this up to 0.4, then maybe you could make it 0.2 in profit, and then maybe you could justify this number, but then it would be only like fairly valued, and you wouldn't get much of a steal, right, for the company, because currently they make 0.6 billion in net loss. So they have lost 600 million on an annual basis. Of course, this is like more than one time. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a profit in a year or so, because the one-time expenses from the not initial coin offering, from the IPO, it's just a one-time expense, right? So they won't pay this one-time expense anymore in the next year. So, but even then, maybe the monetization decree is still much higher. The assumed like intrinsic monetization decree, in order to make this investment work, it would be just too high, in my personal opinion. So the current market cap is 10.4 billion, and our valuation model has shown like on a low end 4.2 billion. This would be a steal. So if the company was valued at 4.2 billion, then maybe I would buy some shares. If it is like fairly valued, I wouldn't still buy it because of the opportunity cost. But if it is like 10 billion, it's already higher than I would pay for the company. So will I invest? No, because of the reason I outlined. There is opportunity, but I try to always invest in like only in companies that have a clear, say, 10x opportunity or so somewhere. And I would even see like a 10x opportunity in AI related income, so income from companies paying an annual fee to access the data. But even then we wouldn't see a 10x in revenue, right? Because currently revenue comes mainly from advertisements. So even then we would see maybe only a 3 or 4x or so of revenue. And it is uncertain, right? There's some kind of, there's also an element of competition. And it is also difficult to now increase the number of attention hours they control, because they have already received kind of the one-time bump in traffic by Google, and they are completely dependent on this. Like 60% of the traffic is already dependent on Alphabet, right? So Alphabet actually is like controls their destiny, which is risky for an investor. It's risky because they don't have people want Reddit traffic. Google just gives people what they want in order to satisfy them. And as long as this is the case, all is good, right? And people are also coming, like 1/3 of the people coming directly to Reddit, which is also a good signal. So overall, I like Reddit as a business. The only question is it attractive investment? And I think it is more than fairly valued for the risk you would take, and for given the opportunity cost you would have to invest in other companies. We have analyzed on the Finxter channel. By the way, if you like this kind of videos, then give me a like and subscribe to the channel. We release many content pieces on a regular basis to keep you on the right side of change. So personally, I would rather invest in a company that has a clear 10x path, or maybe one out of many, like Tesla. Tesla's multiple clear roads to 10x in its stock. They could just launch the robotaxi network successfully. They could launch the Optimus humanoid bot product successfully. They could maybe just scale up their vehicle production. All of this could actually lead to a 10x in the stock. Maybe the latter not so much, but the first two definitely. They could scale up the energy business, and it could lead to a 10x in profits and 10x in stock valuation. So there are many ways, for instance, for Tesla to have this 10x, but it's really difficult for Reddit to see another 10x, even considering the recent burst in traffic, like gifted by Google. that Google has just sent to Reddit by bubbling them up the ranks in the search results. Okay, if you like this, then please give me a like, subscribe to the channel. You can also check out our free newsletter. I talked to 140,000 tech enthusiasts. We have recently cut the number of subscribers by 20,000, so we have only the 140,000 most active subscribers on the list now. And they love our regular emails. I try to keep them updated about all the developments we have in the AI world, so they can be on the right side of change. And also check out our beginner-friendly AI practitioner courses, not only about like general prompt engineering, Python programming and stuff, but also how to build multi-agent teams and systems with LangGraph, how to connect your applications with Hugging Face, for instance, how to use Hugging Face in the first place, how to run LLMs on your machines locally to generate music, generate content, different kind of content types on your computer locally, even without having a GPU. And like we teach you all these tricks and prompting hacks. And check out the courses. Just go to academy.finxter.com and subscribe to our channel and to the Finxter Academy. This is a premium academy, but it's definitely worth the spending, the expenses. The skills you will learn are way more valuable than the money you would spend on them. You would spend like 2 orders of magnitude less than on a university degree, but you would get 2 orders of magnitude more value, in my personal humble opinion. Thanks for watching this video, and see you in the next video. Bye.